kind of moving into more of the Disney branded content, going to talk about some of Disney's films that they have coming out. A lot of these they've already announced. So a lot of this is not going to be like breaking news, but at the same time, these are projects that we know are coming out. We know are either going to Disney Plus or going theatrically. And this particular film, Jungle Cruise, starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Emily Blunt. This is not news. We knew that this is coming out. In fact, like two trailers have already dropped for this movie. But the thing I think that makes this particular film newsworthy is that let's jump on to Disney's webpage. This is straight from Disney, you guys. Movies.disney.com/jungle-cruise is where you can find this particular page. Look at right here. Disney Jungle Cruise. Right underneath it says in theaters July 30th, 2021. Now, Josh, this particular date is this happens to be the day before your birthday, first and foremost.
Yeah. Yep, that's the most important. Yep, exactly. And I think the studios planned it that way, so thank you. I appreciate that. I know that was a big talk that they had.
So happy birthday to you. We're getting Jungle Cruise in the theaters, but that's the thing. We're getting Jungle Cruise in theaters. Currently, unless things changed. I think a lot of us were expecting at this Disney Investors Day meeting that they were going to start announcing this is going to be on Disney Plus, and this is going to be on Disney Plus, and this is going to be on Disney Plus. And they did a lot of that, but not everything. A lot of their tentpole films, like Jungle Cruise, like Black Widow, a lot of their bigger properties are still being released or being announced as being released. They are announced as being released. You understand what I'm saying? In theaters. Yeah. Again, all subject to change. There's that huge asterisk on the end of everything that Disney says here. But it seems like Disney is still committing to the theatrical experience. I was going to gloss over Jungle Cruise because, again, this is not a new property. We understand this is coming. 2 trailers have already come out for it. But it's interesting to me that Disney is still committed to a theatrical-only experience as opposed to what HBO Max is doing and upsetting a lot of people in the balance of saying, well, it's coming out in theaters, but it's also coming out on HBO Max. Instead, it's coming out on HBO Max.
Right.
So this is a really smart move on Disney's part, A, to help save theaters, B, to create exclusive interest in Disney Plus, and also to say to their competitors, we see what you're doing, but we're going to do the right thing, right? Josh, where do you see this? Or how does this strike you?
I think you hit all the points, perfectly. It seems, just from my perspective, it seems that is a very big asterisk. I think Disney, at the end of the day, is a business, and they're trying to sort of go, okay, like, what's our best investment? What's our best return? While still trying to be like, okay, like, we believe in the theatrical experience. We want people to have this. Having said, I'm sure it sort of like soothed the nerves of many of the movie theater companies and the owners and stuff like that. They're probably like, okay, cool. Like, because it almost does feel like a reaction to Warner Brothers' HBO Max move of like, because if everything from the theaters is moving to streaming, like, let's just say like that's the scenario that we're with, they moved to someone had to do it first, right? And Warner Brothers, like you said, didn't just quietly do it under the table. They were like, it was like a big party announcement almost. So it's not always like, it's like an improv. It's not necessarily what the first person says, but it's almost the reaction to it that like makes something interesting. How does this person react to it? Are we in a crazy world or in a sane world? So Disney's reaction to this is kind of setting that off like, all right, not every studio is going to just automatically follow. And this is just Warner Brothers. That asterisk that you talked about, I think, is very big. And especially with with the vaccine coming out, and I think they were probably trying to do a little fortune telling and being like, okay, by the time this hits theaters, I think maybe people are going to be more out and about, and so it's going to be less of an issue because we have the vaccine. So they may have tried to play fortune teller a little bit and be like, I think we're going to be okay here. But I don't know. It's really all up in the air. I mean, like so many things, it's just so up in the air still. I think everyone's still kind of like sorting through all this mess. And each piece of information is another piece of the puzzle. So I think it's just another big piece of the puzzle of how this is all going to fall down. But I hope that my final prediction, I think movie theaters, no matter what, are going to be I think studios are just going to do more tentpole things at theaters, and they're going to do a lot more of this television stuff with HBO Max and things like that. That's not going to go away, but we're still going to get big movie productions like Star Wars's and like Avengers. Those things are all going to be in the movies, but I think it's going to be more of that. You're not going to see a lot of studio produced indie stuff in the theaters, studio produced indie stuff. But
I don't want to spend
stuff.
a lot of time on this because we already talked about this last week. But I think one of the things that Disney is doing specifically with their Marvel division, and we'll talk about this on the show on Friday when we cover all things Marvel. But I think it looks very clear that Disney is, like, with all of their Marvel television shows that they're doing, like Hawkeye and Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision and Loki, and it goes on and on and on and on and on, that they're spending time building up their Disney Plus subscribers and content and storytelling within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so we can not necessarily get these smaller stories, because Falcon and Winter Soldier, if you have seen the trailer, looks to be huge, like in terms of scope and scale and story, and it's going to have lasting impacts on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But for for your big tentpole franchises like Avengers, like your Black Widows, like your what else are we getting? Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantum something, whatever, like what all the stuff that they've announced, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Spider-Man 3, that stuff is going to come out into the theaters, and that's going to be their big, like, they're investing all this time and money and effort into creating a community, almost. I don't know if that's fair to say, but kind of like creating a base. And then then you're gonna get these huge spikes.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna spend more time on Friday talking about all things Marvel. But question is for you guys: what are your thoughts and feelings on not just Jungle Cruise keeping its theatrical release, but also Disney staying committed to doing theatrical releases, even when other studios have been very clear in coming out and saying, "Oh, we're just going to put all of our stuff on streaming." Jump down to the comment section below and let me know those thoughts. All right, guys. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, click like. If you really like this video, click subscribe. And if you really, really like this video, click share. Because that is exactly what Scrooge McDuck would want you to do. DuckTales, woo!